grade 1, like I said. You can pick up papers. Guys. Any one of you can start a company that is going to be picking up paper there. Is that correct? So any one of you can get the tender for CIDB 1 for picking up paper. All I am saying is, if R23 na R35 na R51, if the value of the litter picking is, say for instance, 2 million rands, mawuya ku CIDB uyi grade 1 ubatshela ukuthi mina sengenza umsebenzi wa 2 million rand and ngicela ukuyoba grade 2, they will say no, you can't qualify to be a grade 2 even though you have exceeded the threshold ya 500,000. The reason they will give you is because ukubutha amaphepha is not civil engineering work. So what we guarantee you on this routine road maintenance, uyi grade 1 angeke sikubuthisa amaphepha kuphela, sizofaka nomsebenzi we civil engineering okufaka ekhathi kuclean ama drain or kulungisa ama culvert wa clean kuzophuma amanzi kahle, so that after 12 months, irrespective of how much you have earned, when you go to the CIDB, you can say to the CIDB, I've been doing work on a Central Road which includes civil engineering, can I go to grade 2? They will definitely give you a ticket to go to grade 2. So what we are saying, we are not guaranteeing you ukuthi uzohola 500,000. We are guaranteeing you ukuthi uzoba ne skill so that in 12 months you can be grade 2. Awusadingi nokufuna umsebenzi eCentral kuphela maso grade 2, usongaya na somewhere else. Mawusuka ku grade 2 uya ku grade 3, we have given you a skill, you can start looking for work elsewhere or still within Central. So what we are actually saying is, don't look at it from a financial point of view, look at it from a development point of view, from a grade 1 to a grade 2 and from a grade 2 to a grade 3. So that's it about that. Next slide. Scope of work, some are grade 1 and 2s. Like I've said, it's not going to be litter picking only. We've included some drainage work, channel work, so that as a grade 1 or a grade 2, you can grow after wenzelwa umsebenzi lona. The next slide, grade 3s and 4s. Obviously, grade 3s and 4s, they do a little bit of more superior work. Ma grade 3s aqala nokulungisa ama potholes emgwaqweni. Ama grade 3s yiwa juba tshana. Ama grade 4s, they do age build-ups, they do a lot of other work like cutting the grass. Cutting the grass is not for the small guys. Ngicela ningacabanga ukuthi ukujuba tshani lapha ma uyi grade 1 or grade 2 ungazama shem. It's for the established guys. You need some resources for you to be in a position to go cut grass there. Udinga ukuthi ube ne-equipment, ama brush cut or ama tractor in some instances. Some instances ikufuna ube ne-100,000 ye petrol or ye diesel nje qala before kungayojujwa tshani lapha. So ma uyi grade 1 ungathathi chance, ngiyanicela. But bazonichazela kabanzi ku clarification meeting on the different scope of works. Next slide. Compulsory clarification meeting. If you are interested, gufuna ube khona ku compulsory clarification meeting. Otherwise, mawungekho ku clarification meeting, itenda yakho angeke bayithathe. It's very important that you are there. Move on the next slide. The tender documents. Lama tender documents are like Pty saying, siseze i-site office because the project is across 2 local municipalities. The plan is, as soon as si appointa munye wenu like Pty saying as the subcontractor, we also establishela i-site office lapho khona sekungaba na a lot of interactions with people from the local municipality. Kwanyalo sisebenzisa i-building yakamasipala for submission of documents. We have got our own project PLO uba bethabo lapha ya. If you are not sure, please nayi phone number yakathabo lapha ya nizoyithola kule presentation. It is very important for you to actually know Thabo, to be on our database, so that if anything will be changing kule information yama dates lapha sizokhona uku-emailela sikutshela ukuthi okay, i-closing date ayisasingelanga elithize seyingelanga elithize, or i-clarification meeting ayisasingelanga elithize ingelanga elithize. The reason we have to do that is because if you are not part of that, you might miss out. And if you have missed out, you might then feel like, mina Central bebangangifuni mina bangivalele ngaphandle. That is not what we are trying to do. We are trying to actually ensure that all of you can participate here. So lastly, the submission of the tender documents. What we will do at clarification meeting stage is we will avail hard copies for the grade 1s and 2s. Yale tender document besikhuluma ngayo. But ama grade 3s and 4s, sizobanikeza CD ngoba bona seba established kancane, they can be able to go and print for themselves and complete the document and submit it in time for the tender closes. That's the last slide. So I think we must just quickly go to the other presentation quickly. And I think I can just summarize it also because
Maybe you can. I just want to emphasize one thing. His project is 50% participation. And you never heard it, even though you're not clapping for him. But it's fine. We will keep on fighting for you because the government is currently talking about 30%. And yet, as Sandra, because of our transformation policy that we believe in, all RRM, most of all RRM projects are 50% participation. But the participation of Rubex and ENZA JV is going to be 30%. And I want to be clear, because according to you, Kwanele, the 50% is 49,000 and something. You divide that by 2, you get your 50 here. You divide that by 3, because the project is 36 months. Sezwan, do you want to sum up? Thanks.
So Bosomo Business, second project. You might all be aware. Sandral upgraded the R23 back in 2013-14, somewhere there. Then, after the upgrade the R23, Sandral had another big project, FCE, Yoglungisa, the bridges for the new R23. That project didn't go a little bit well. In fact, it was stopped or it ended unceremoniously. So, Sandral, because Tina, as an entity of government, if Sunomkwato, it is actually considered infrastructure. So this is actually a Sandral investment. If we've got infrastructure that we've invested in and we have not completed the job, the Auditor General is Shayang Oswazi. But you wasteful expenditure to have infrastructure that is incomplete. That is what they say. So we've been accumulating audit findings on the R23. We had to act. We have appointed a contractor, Rubex ENZA joint venture, to finish off the project the FCE. The project the FCE touches on both municipalities. Angifuna ukukhuluma ngaseLikwa ngoba sise Tipaliseng. Tipaliseng is affected by this project. There is one bridge, possibly 2, that are actually in Tipaliseng. We need to execute and finish the job. The value of that piece of work or that bridge that is in Tipaliseng is actually 2.5 million. So it's 2,550,000. If value yale bridge eli lai Tipaliseng. So what that means is the main contractor, Rubex ENZA, have a value of 2.5 that they need to actually do work here and finish it. Ni understand ukuthi routine road maintenance lebe ngikhuluma ngayo. It sounds like something that you do repeatedly. That is why ama opportunities siwavula, because umsebenzi omalula ngibutha amaphepha njubutshani lungisa ama pothole emgwaqweni. On the one side, masikhuluma ngama bridge, we are talking about very sophisticated engineering that needs proper companies. But that doesn't mean siusandral sitama grade 1s and 2s akafuneki ku the proper engineering that is very, very, very sophisticated. So what we say is there must be subcontracting opportunities on that very sophisticated project. So 2.55 million means we will allocate 30% of that 2.55 million to local SMMEs. So it's now not 50% like maintenance, because maintenance is routine, it's easy. La 30% because the requirement is skills and actually a little bit of an established companies. So that is why the percentage is smaller. But that does not mean kulo 2.55%, which equates to 30% of what the local SMM is in Tipaliseng must share. It does not mean aswafuna ma grade 1. So what it actually means is that 30% of 2.55 actually equates to 765,000. 765,000 will be shared amongst the grade 1s, the grade 2s, the grade 3s, and the grade 4s. Ne? What will happen is the 765,000, this project that is worth 2.5 million, is not like 36 months like layer RRM or a return road maintenance. This bridge structure that needs to be completed is probably a 4-month project. So you can then appreciate or see why there is actually small money, even though it is actually like a big project. It's because of the duration and obviously the way that it actually affects us, like Pty saying. So on this new project, basengaka advertise ke ukuthi kufuneka ngakho ama grade 1s kufuneka ngakho ama grade 2s, because they are not at the stage lapho khona lelenye project seyikhiphe nama dates work advertiser and all those kind of things. This project still needs to advertise for other things like PLOs if they have to have, or how they will unpack the 765,000 in terms of amangaka ama grade 1 azosebenza lapho, amangaka ama grade 2, and so forth and so forth and so forth. So what you need to understand is that there is another project. There is 30% of that project that will be for the local SMMEs. Asibafaki baselikwa sikhuluma ngani kuphela la. Sithi value yale project yalana is 2.55 million, of which 30% that must actually be shared amongst the different SMMEs is actually 765,000. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I think we are going to go through your process. Thank you.
Thank you, Kwanele. You know, Butwam, you said something when you were opening or talking about the stability and how eager are the people of the Palisang want to participate, want opportunities. Says one. Now, all I'm going to ask from Rubex and Enza JV and VIA, let's push the agenda of transformation of Sandra. Let's focus on the youth. Let's give women opportunity. Let's give people living with disability their fair share. And we need to start monitoring these things. I am going to come back in a year's time. I'm saying this in all over. Remind me if you think I have forgotten. PLC members, you are here to make sure that the people of the Palisang participate. And whilst you are also doing that, you need to assist them to make sure that they comply. Unfortunately, you're not going to get it because you are popular or because you are beautiful. You need to comply. But let's give the youth a fair share, because I believe in them. I believe that they will be the bigger companies of tomorrow. I know there is another 5% for general business, but can we put our money where our mouth is? And that is the responsibility of main contractors. Enough has been said. We're not doing lip service. At the end of the day, we need to stand up and account for what we promise the stakeholders that is going to happen. So, please, so all those who've got their nose out, can you validate it? We will take questions. You lift your hand, we will take the first 5 if there is a need, but we are rushing to another venue. I didn't plan to have 2 sessions, but because of COVID-19, we couldn't go beyond 50. But you are noted, number 1. Number 1, number 2, do I see number 2? There were 2 questions in the previous sessions. I'm sure we are clear here. We only have 1 question. No, that is fine. That is good enough, Futwam. Yes.
That's not a question. That's a question, come forward now and ask your question. Ungamela abanye ukuthi bakubuzele and then bese sokufuna ukungeza. That's an afterthought. A question is what you have in your mind right now. I know what's I'm just saying. Just introduce yourself. Maybe you come from what's your company.
Okay, my name is Victor Malape from Simvic Group. I'm one of the chairpersons from the LTF Forum in the Pty Ltd municipality. I have 3 questions, but I'll ask only 2 now. Okay, I'll ask all 3. The opportunities that you speak about that are going to be advertised after a briefing had already been advertised by VIA. So does it mean that that routine work maintenance is going to be advertised again and we need to all attend a clarification meeting, or you're talking about something else altogether? That's number 1. Number 2, you're talking about the bridges, which is going to be shared by Rubex and ENZA projects, which is not part of the routine road maintenance, but as you said, it was in proper or whatever unfinished projects, and you include the values to say it's about 2.5 million. So is the 2.55 million for both the bridges or for one? And if it's for both, why is it in those we are saying, Dipali saying, you are saying this is 765,000 is going to be shared amongst us, Dipali saying people, but whereas in the routine maintenance job, the large stretch of the road falls upon Dipali saying, but we are sharing it equally with Liqua. The sharing equally with Liqua is cast on stone, and why? Why does Liqua have to come into a jurisdiction if whenever it pleases Sanral, but whenever it pleases them, the stretch from their side towards Forecrest, we're not going to be able to go into that area? Why do we have to share with them when it's in our demarcation, it's in our zone? Because that could have been shared amongst all companies and I've created far more companies, and you'll find in that 39 million would have walked away maybe with 13 or 20 million. Now we'll have to share the 39 million with Liqua, but a large part of the road on the routine road maintenance is ours. In fact, who decided on that, and why is the site office in Liqua as we speak right now? Thank you. And I'm not a politician, but I'm a businessman. Thank you.
Actually, the questions are for the court. So I don't know why you guys are sitting there still coming to ask the question, answer the question.
Okay. Putwam, you will answer the question. The sharing that you are questioning is on the RRM side, am I correct? Okay. Because just to be clear, the one that Rubex presented is only for the Palisang.
Thank you. I'm gonna start with the first question. The first question was about. Remind me again. The first question. Okay. Yes. Okay. So in the routine road maintenance, I said the value of the project is 79 million. And then I said that 50% of that 79 million is actually for the SMMEs. It doesn't matter whether it's Liqua or not. So there's 39 million that is for VIA. So I said the project has actually been going on for the past 6 months. We call that a mobilization period. So in the mobilization period, there was an obligation that VIA, if there's a pothole on the road, it must be fixed. If the grass has grown, it must be cut. So what has been advertised and what has been discussed in this 6 months that we were in was the 50% that is for VIA. 50% what the SMM is has not been advertised, has not been discussed with anybody. So if 50% yenu ayikakathintwa umuntu, lebe nisolo nikhuluma of which angifuni ukukhuluma nyalo right here is what VIA was supposed to have been doing. Whether they were doing it or not is a different discussion altogether. So to just ease you now, tina la le processes sitizo advertise ngulo 50% wama SMMEs osengakathintwa as we speak. I hope it addresses your question. And then with regards to the second question, in terms of the, can I just come to correction? Is it one bridge or is it two bridges? Okay, so it's two bridges. One is complete, the other one is partially complete. So when they talk of that project, they are talking about what is within Pty Ltd only. That is how that project is actually structured. So there's no split in terms of their project. They have what is here and they have what is that side to be dealt with as two separate things. Now, coming back to the split, I will have to give you some background. Angithi sikhuluma ngeSANRAL that is trying to transform here. The previous SANRAL, if I can use that word, basi appoint the main contractor putwamne. See appointed from the head office at Pretoria. Kube singabe appoint uVia. Sathi Via. In the previous SANRAL, basi banikeza R23 eqala lapha at the border of Gauteng, iyophelela kuphi? Iyophelele Falls Crest. Sibanikeza like you would find one main contractor doing sometimes 500 kilometers road. And then SANRAL said, for us to transform, we need to create projects within local authorities, meaning within local municipalities. So, you will appreciate, Putwam, routine road maintenance is the lowest entry of projects la SANRAL. Sikhuluma project ya 79 million. That is change, Putwam la SANRAL. Project, to give you an example, we have got routine road maintenance 3-year contracts. We do the same thing for 3 years. After 7 years, sibuya senze something called the reseal. Silungisa the skuntir part, the blacktop part. Those kind of projects at SANRAL that happen after 7 years, they are probably 3 or 4 times the equivalent of maintenance projects. Our biggest projects at SANRAL are upgrade projects, whereby we do those projects after 15 years. Lapo asenzi blacktop kuphela. Sesenza namaleya ngaphansi komgwaqo. Sometimes add ne capacity. Mas add capacity, it's either add lane or it's either makunyukela add nje lane yokuthi ama truck makahamba kancane ukhona ukwa overtaker uphinde ubuyele makuphela intaba type of thing. That's an upgrade. We are talking billions of rands on those kind of projects. Moloto is one that is currently going on kuzozi N2 ngalana of an upgrade project. So what we did as SANRAL, for transformation purposes, we said every project, we now need to look at how it can benefit a local municipality. Lagu routine road maintenance, if a certain area has got less than 100 kilometers of road, routine road maintenance, akuna muntu ongenza imali because of the repeatedness. If bekuzi upgrade project la, bowuzobona ukuthi beyingeke isherwe. So the SANRAL came to an understanding that if ilikwa, I think in Gulo 200, Likwa has probably got 90 something and you guys got over 100. I think it's 108 or 109 kilometers. So if besinigeza project yenyu 100 kilometers, sabanigeza project yabo ya 80 kilometers, I'm telling you now, no one was going, these main contractors were not going to make money. Gulama subcontracting opportunities because of it. Mhlambe besizofuna contract grade 1 A1 ne grade 2 A2. So it was SANRAL made the decision after looking at the kilometers of road and combining it. And then we understood that in some instances it might bring a little bit of trouble. I-agenda yethu uguti in 3 years time senze Pty Ltd nelikwa ba understand ukuthi bayadingana. From this point on, mawi grade 1 usase sharp ungasebenza la Pty Ltd ungabi nendaba ukuthi kwenzakalani elikwa. Mawi grade 2 the same thing. Wafika ku grade 3 butwami, you will know as a SMME ukuthi mina sengimkhulu for my local and baba ngangifuni ngale I have a problem because umsebenzi angisawuthola and so forth and so forth and so forth. So eventually we want every local municipality to understand that as long as sithola bo grade 1 sibenza ama grade 2 kanjalo nina niyadingana nibo masipala so that ni hertsi bande district ningagcine nihlangene nithi ama grade 5 nama grade 6 lana siwenza kanjani ukuthi abe bovia khona sizokhona kubuya sonke sithi grade 1 2 3. We understand? So it's a bigger picture and it has got a little bit of background, unfortunately, that I can't give all to you now. But it's not because it's Zamugun. It's because we have got your interest at heart, and this transformation is the only way that we can actually deliver that. So that's just the answer. I hope if you've got a follow-up, we can even actually take it outside, but I hope I've actually tried to address your question. You don't have to actually say anything. I don't know. Do you want an afterthought or any other question? Afterthought. You can allow it.
Okay, Gan Kupa, oh, this is the last time. Remember, I did a huge favor of having 2 sessions. We still need to go to another venue where I would like to offer them a similar thing. So be concise and short, Butwam.
Sanbonan. All right. My first question. This is directed to Via and Sandral. On your presentation, I've heard that you've already appointed a consultant.
Yeah, the consultant starts with the main.
Yeah. All right. With regards to the consultant, how do you make sure that, let's say in the policing, we have another consultant that it's a small one. How do you make sure that they get to work with this big consultant so that they can learn all the ropes? Can they make a space? Can they create a space for young consultant companies? That's my first question. My second question will be to Via. On your safety department, guys, because usually we don't get to see these kind of opportunities. You will advertise your concrete work, your grass cutting, etc., etc. Can you make sure that from your safety department, you come to the policing and inquire if is there safety consultant company that maybe can get some opportunities in these projects, or includes those opportunities in your RFQ? Because usually we don't get to see any of those. That's my second question. Then the last one, on the Rubex and Enza, since I heard they'll be doing those 2 bridges, can they make sure that they joined that work with some of the local companies? Because I think it's time now we start doing joint ventures. Yes, we are grateful for all the subcontracting opportunities that you guys are presenting to us, but I think some of us or some of the companies or some of the locals now, they are big enough to do joint ventures, not only to subcontracting but also to joint ventures. So I will say we are looking forward to be given that opportunity by Rubex and Enza to joint venture in some of the work, not only to subcontract. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Buti. I'm going to respond, but Kwanele, you will finish off. Remember, we have a website, www.sandral.co.za. In that website, that is where you see the contracts that Sandral has issued out. That's number one. One needs to check that website much more often. And number 2, it is a responsibility then as a business person in Dupaliseng to find out who are the people who are operating in your space and create those joint ventures. Because remember, now, we've got Rubex and Enza JV. They came, they tender, they won. So at that level, so that is where us as Sandra, we enter. But if you want to do or participate in their 70% or in their 50%, us as Sandra, we have nothing to do with that. And I'm very proud to say some of the research projects, I'm talking consultants now, because I've introduced them. I think it's Victor Kanye and Emala Hleni. We have enterprise consultants there that they did a JV with the main consultant, and they tendered and they won. And we appreciate that. But it's just that as a big guy, it's not our responsibility. It is the responsibility of the big guy here to check what's going on. Moreover, there's another website for SMMEs nationally. It's called www.sandralsmme.co.za. So it's very important, because once you get to grade 4, 5 and up, it's your responsibility to hustle as a businessman and try to do the JVs, whichever company in South Africa. That is very much important. Ours, in terms of our transformation, we're saying they must, conventional is 30%, routine road maintenance is 50%, and make sure then that we check that. But Kwanele, you may please come, because I don't want to get into the 70% of people and their 50%.
It's always difficult to actually explain this. When I started working at Sandral, people used to say, "Kulukhuni ukungena eSandral, izinto zaseSandral zicomplicated." And then I realized what people were asking me was true. Now he's actually asked that difficult question. So, and I'm going, ngizozama ukuyichaza bhuti wami, if I can't, ngizobe ngihlulekile, and you will tell me. I'm going to start like this and make an example. Lapha eSandral, in our regional office in Pretoria, when we want to buy toilet paper or tea bags, we must take out a tender. Ne? We can't just go to Pick and Pay and buy and collect a slip and then get refunded. You must take out a tender for buying toilet paper, just like any other government department does. So when we procure, because we are a national entity, first tier procurement, if the service that we want to buy is directly going to be contracted to us, we call that first tier. If we are now supposed to buy something else that must be bought by somebody else, so sithenge uvia kufuna athenge subcontractor, that relationship becomes second tier procurement. Kusebenziswa a different process from first tier to second tier. So when we actually procure professional engineering services, it's considered first tier procurement. So Rome H, I'm sure it's the first time some of you actually hear about Rome H. It's because previously, besi appointa wonke lama company abelungu, ama consultants from a professional engineering point of view. Sekushintshile ke because they are transforming ngisho 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer. This round, we've got black consultants. Rome H is a classic example of a black consulting engineering firm that we've actually procured from Sandral point of view, first tier. What then happens is, if from a consultant's point of view, kunomsebenzi ekufanele bawu subcontract, of which there will be additional duties that are required from time to time. Not to say there are specific ones, but mase kufuneka about benzi second tier procurement. The rules that VIA is applying now to say second tier must happen within the local space, and Rome H will do exactly the same thing. So what we now are saying, Gule invite here today, we invited all SMMEs. So if there is a potential civil engineering consultants firm amongst you here, good databases yabafuna siyayifuna profile yabo, because the day Rome H needs a service like you are referring to, the first things that we must check is locally, do they exist? Before we can go to the other neighbors and so forth and so forth. So I don't want to say sebavaleleke ngaphandle because kuno Rome H, but if there is additional procurement from a consulting engineering services, akuna consultant engathi ivalelwe ngaphandle mayikhona la ekhaya. But the onus is on all of us, because I'm telling you now, ngicela ningizwisise kahle. It sounds good what I'm saying, because it's actually something that we thought about for the local economy. Ne? You know what the difficult part is? The difficult part is me standing here 3 years from today, ngithi nganitshela musikuthi sizoniqasha nyalo sesiniqashile sicela nize lana nizositshela ukuthi nisebenze kanjani and all those kind of things. So to me, this is the first day of the hard work that all of us here need to make sure ukuthi lo half walo 39 million. Some of you here can stand up in 3 years' time and say, yeah, what you said is true because I did actually benefit. What I know is going to happen, and please don't get me wrong, nina bosomabhizinisi nizohamba niyoshisa amatayari lapha nivala umgwaqo laphayana because kunomuntu osebenzayo lapha enanazi ukuthi ufike kanjani. If you don't have the information that we are trying to give you, you will resort to the means that you as business, it's not only you here, all the black businesses are experiencing exactly the same thing because of the status of the economy. So sometimes when as a summer business, you will be sending abantu balay lokshin, ubanikeze 50 rand or 100 rand, ukuthi bayoshisa amatayari lapha emgwaqweni. And to me, it is politics of the stomach because we do not have information ukuthi ngingangena kanjani nje lapha as grade 1 ngiyobutha amaphepha or ngiyolungisa ufenisi, or there are things that we need to actually appreciate. Now, if you are a proper business person, ngizwile ukuthi awusiyi politician, this session is not about you, your business. Ne? This session is about you looking to the left and looking to the right and saying, okay, kuno mama la, une company. Mine, if I join venture with Umama, we already stand a better chance than me alone. You understand? So this is also an opportunity for you to look around and share and actually be in a position where you can be able to say, si stronger masi join venture ya ma grade 1 I3 or I4 rather than kuti mina ngi grade 1 ngiziyele mina ngi 1 type of thing. So it's unfortunate that CIDB is not here today. Uyaye ubhuti we CIDB, the first thing that he normally starts with is ngicela ukunazisa ukuthi mani ma grade 1 I3 ningathendarela umsebenzi wa ma grade 2. Mani ma grade 2 I3 ningathenda kukhona kule CIDB website. You are going to find all that information there for you guys to be able to kind of like nibambane nizokhona ukuwawina lamathenda because angifuni lamathenda lawa ukuthi aphumele ngaphandle, ngifuna winwe yini. That is the bottom line. Ngiyayivala ke manje ngicela soluyivala nivala labadala ngoba hey siphethwe yini la.
Thank you, Putkonele. As you likely say, maybe it's high time, not on age. They must mentor the others and show them Uguti, how did they made it? Because that's what we would like. Now that they have made it, they need to mentor others as well. But we are hoping that is going to happen, and maybe then once we are done, the information can be shared outside the context, because this is also a networking platform that we should utilize.
If there's a consultant that has their profile, please submit your profile to taking the company profile. If you've got your company profile with you, can we submit it? If you are not party today, it's fine. Take the number, Tabo, where are you now? Where's Tabo now?
I'm sure they are outside. Thank you. And if you have registered correctly with the USSD number outside, you will then get copies of the presentations that were shared here today. Ladies and gentlemen, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.